It was a quiet, starry evening in the meadow, and little Nutbrown Hare was getting ready for bed. As he snuggled up under a soft blanket of grass, he looked up at Big Nutbrown Hare and said, "Guess how much I love you." Big Nutbrown Hare smiled. "Oh, I don't think I could guess that," he replied warmly. "This much," said little Nutbrown Hare, stretching his tiny arms out as wide as they could go. Big Nutbrown Hare chuckled. "But I love you this much," he said, stretching his own long arms even wider. Big Nutbrown Hare's arms were much longer, so little Nutbrown Hare had to think of something even bigger. "I love you as high as I can reach," said little Nutbrown Hare, standing on his tippy toes and stretching his arms toward the sky. "And I love you as high as I can reach," said Big Nutbrown Hare, reaching up so high that his paws almost touched the branches of the trees. Little Nutbrown Hare's eyes grew wide. That was really high, but he wasn't done yet. He flopped over onto the ground and stretched his legs. "I love you all the way up to my toes," he giggled. Big Nutbrown Hare leaned down with a laugh. "And I love you all the way up to your toes, too." They hopped around the meadow together, little Nutbrown Hare trying to outdo Big Nutbrown Hare. "I love you as high as I can hop," he said, springing into the air. Big Nutbrown Hare smiled and hopped even higher. "And I love you as high as I can hop." Little Nutbrown Hare began to feel sleepy, but he didn't want to stop. "I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river," he said, pointing toward the horizon. Big Nutbrown Hare nodded. "And I love you all the way across the river and over the hills." Little Nutbrown Hare thought and thought. The stars were beginning to twinkle in the sky now. He leaned back in Big Nutbrown Hare's warm arms, his voice a soft whisper. "I love you all the way to the moon," he said with a sleepy smile. Big Nutbrown Hare looked at little Nutbrown Hare, his heart full of love. "Oh, that's very far," he said softly, "but I love you all the way to the moon and back." Little Nutbrown Hare didn't answer. He was already fast asleep, dreaming of hopping all the way to the moon with Big Nutbrown Hare. And under the vast, starry sky, Big Nutbrown Hare held little Nutbrown Hare close, knowing that their love was bigger than anything in the world.